Simple as that. That's all you got to do. So this second book we're going to read, we're on page 479 of the Scripture Gazetteer, volume 1. Make sure I zoom in good. And we're going to start up here. We're going to jump down to the bottom after we get some context. Like I said, this one was published in 1837 when we were in slavery, so kind of understandable why they didn't want us reading. Then after we get freed from slavery, the narrative changes. Just throwing that out there. But I'm going to start right here. It says, the mountain Ida is famous in Crete, the neighboring inhabitants of which are termed Idae, and in this name, with a far-fetched argument, becomes also Judae or Jews. Others allege that the Jews were numerous in Egypt in the reign of Isis, where they became so burdensome that the Egyptians sent them into different countries under their two leaders, Hierosolamus and Judas. Some say that they were Ethiopians who were compelled to change their habitations in the reign of a king called Cepheus, although it is strange that Tacitus could suppose that the Ethiopians, who are known to be blacks, could be the ancestors of the Jews, who are known to be whites. So this author, when you read this book, he's pretty much, in this portion of the book, he's explaining research that he's done into the origins or what the Jews look like and whatnot. And he's reading ancient documents about first-hand eyewitness accounts about what the Jews look like. And he's saying that ancient historians said that the Jews were black. And in his time period, Jewish people were white. So he's saying it's strange that Tacitus back then would say that the Jews were Ethiopians, but the Jews right now are white. But that's just his opinion. And we're going to go down and skip right here to the next paragraph. And we're going to see what he concluded with his research. From the above particulars, extravagant as they are, some facts can be easily adduced. So now he's about to explain some facts that he came to the conclusion of, regardless of what his opinion was about modern Jewish people being white. He says, the first, that many foreigners were obliged to quit Egypt with the Israelites, and that therefore the latter were often confounded with the race of whom they had no connection. The second fact, that the Israelites were often taken for Ethiopians or Cushites, who like themselves became the objects of hatred to the Egyptians. So he says all this about how, it's strange that ancient historians would say that the Jews were Ethiopians. And when you get into the history, Ethiopian back then simply just meant black people from the African continent. It's not talking about literal Ethiopians in that context. But he's saying it's strange that ancient historians would say that the Jews were considered Ethiopians when the Jews right now are white. But he says, nevertheless, from the above particulars, some facts can be easily adduced. And the second fact that he writes is that the Israelites were often taken for Ethiopians or Cushites, according to the research that he did. All right, Ethiopians and Cushites, you type them up in Google, they look almost exactly like us. You can sometimes tell the difference, or a lot of times you can tell the difference, but they're not white people. They're so-called sub-Saharan Africans. They got black skin, woolly hair, and all that. So that's that.